What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Now, before we start this video, I just want to point out that the bed is actually made. So I forgot who actually mentioned that before, but I do make my bed. It was just that one time. I'm human. But anyway, let's get on to today's video. Now, today I had a question from a viewer named Mitch. Obviously I'm pointing to my computer if you can't really see that because it looks like I'm pointing to nothing, but here you go. Mitch asked me, could you do a video on tips for buying a used car? Looking to buy one soon. And Mitch, your wish is my command. So here we go. I jotted down some notes here for you just to keep my memory on track. But here are some tips for buying a used car. Now, first you want to evaluate your budget. How much do you want to spend, Mitch? You got to figure out what is it that you want to spend. You didn't really tell me what your budget was. That's your business. It's up to you. If you want to share it, that's cool too. Evaluate what your budget is. Next, you want to check websites like KBB, NADA, Edmund. Those websites will help you determine what the price range goes for those typical vehicles. So that way you know where to play and negotiate your budget. Another tip that I can give you, dude, if it says mechanic, maintained, or owned, stay away, okay? Because a lot of mechanic owned or maintained vehicles are not good. Like, if it's owned by the mechanic. Now, majority of them don't really work on their stuff or just try to get it to work and then go to make money elsewhere. Some actually take time to fix their vehicles. Someone like me, I will admit there were some times where I didn't have the time to fix my vehicle, so I would just leave it and then go work on other people's vehicles and make money, because the money actually comes first than that vehicle at the moment. Now, I know that's a bad mindset to have because that vehicle does take you to point A to B. I'm not saying I never looked after it. I did look after it. I did fix what needed to be fixed, but on my own time. A lot of other mechanics, they'll probably put the cheapest thing in there just to get it to run and eventually sell it off. Someone like me, I end up buying the good quality parts, putting it in, taking my time to make sure that it runs properly, taking the time to make sure it's done neatly, and then there you go. So anyone who actually buys a vehicle off of me will get a very well-owned, maintained vehicle. Other techs out there, I'm sure there are other guys out there who do the same thing and take pride in what they do, but majority out there, typically they don't really care much. They'll just slap it together and send it. Not saying all, so I don't want anyone getting upset. If you're one of the few who actually does take care of your stuff, good. But there are a lot out there who don't. You want to run a history report. Now, when you run a history report like Carfax, something like that, you want to make sure that it wasn't an accident or anything. Keep in mind though, sometimes those history reports aren't exactly 100% accurate, and I'll tell you why. Because if you get into an accident with a vehicle, you never report it to the insurance, you have a guy like my friend Peter who does excellent body work, fixes it up, you pay him cash, it's out of the insurance, it looks like nothing's ever happened, it's never gonna be recorded that there was an accident. If cops weren't called, insurance wasn't called, nothing, there's no history, there's no report. It looks like it was a clean title, nothing ever happened. And unfortunately, a lot of people do that and it gets passed off. So have a keen eye, open the door jambs, look in the door jambs, see if anything's been painted, see if anything looks flushed, see if there is a different paint color. Look at the doors, look at the sides, look to see if there's a lot of orange peel, see if there's a consistent flow of paint. Make sure all the VIN numbers, the placards are there. Make sure nothing looks removed. Open the hood. If the hood looks like there's no more stickers under the hood's been replaced. You gotta look at these things. Keep an eye. There's always VIN number locations on each corner of the cars for certain parts. You can look that up online to see where you can look. I think there's one in the trunk, under the hood, door jambs, each side of the pillars on the doors. Where else? On the fender, stuff like that. So just look it up, look around, and just do your due diligence. Now there are some questions you want to ask. Are you the first owner? Do you have maintenance records? Is there anything wrong with the vehicle? Ask these questions. These questions will help you figure out if there's anything wrong. If they say that yes, I'm the first owner, you know, most likely they maintained it really well. You don't have to go through different personalities driving it. Usually some people drive rough, some people drive good. So if it's the first owner, most likely he may have driven it rough, you don't know, or he may have driven it good, but most likely he'll have maintenance records, he'll have a lot of stuff in there, and you'll be the second owner. It just feels better to be the second owner than the fifth owner, because at least that way you know it's just him, not anyone else. Obviously the first owner could drive it really bad and rough and damage things, but if he has maintenance records, it's just easier to get access to certain information because he would be the one to know everything, instead of it passed on to 5 people and everyone's like, well, I'm not sure, he'll be able to tell you what was replaced, what wasn't replaced, what's wrong, what's not wrong. Another thing you want to do is make sure you test drive the vehicle. Test drive the vehicle, make sure everything is running. Bring a trusted mechanic friend to look over the vehicle for you. If you know some mechanical stuff, look it over. Use a scanner. Scan for codes. P1000, something may have been just replaced or cleared. Drive the vehicle for a while. Listen to any noises. Do you hear brake noises? Do you hear anything mechanically sounding wrong? Does the car have power? Does it take off well? Is it misfiring? Is there a check engine light? Look at these things. Make sure that it's good. Before the test drive, also check the oil. Make sure the level of the oil is good. If it's really, really low on oil, chances are he's been driving that for a while and you may have some engine damage due to the fact that it's super low in oil. Make sure there's no metal flakes in the oil. Make sure the coolant and oil hasn't been mixing if it looks milky. These are things that you gotta look at. Ask certain questions. When has the brakes been replaced? When has the tires been replaced? When has the car been maintained? How often do you change the oil? Have you ever done a head gasket on it? Have you done spark plugs? What kind of tune-ups have you done on it? Stuff like that. Just ask questions. The more questions you can ask, the better it is for you. You have to remember, people are going to try to sell you anything just to grab your money. Once your money is gone and it's in their hands, they can care less about you. Don't always be in a rush to get the car, even though you see it and you love it and you want it. Don't fall in love with the vehicle too much. Don't be in a rush, because around the corner may be another opportunity for something better, and it may save you a lot of headache and grief. So don't always be too anxious to get that vehicle, because once someone sees anxiousness in you, they're gonna know that they can stick you at any price that they want, and you're probably gonna bend. Also, if you guys negotiate at a price, stick to your guns. Be firm about your prices that you're going at. Obviously, don't lowball the guy. If he wants 10 grand for the car's worth about 9,500. Don't be telling him you'll give him 7 grand for it cash. Sometimes if they're in a tight spot, maybe they may sell it for that. Majority of the times, they're not gonna go for that. They may go for the 9,500. They may go for the 98, 97. You could probably get it. Maybe you can get it for 9,000. Someone may not hold it for $1,000. They might just give it to you for that. So you can get lucky like that. The lowest I would probably say maybe 8. I don't even think under 8. They'll probably go 95, and that's about it. Maybe 9, if it's 10 grand. So these tips that I've given you here are for outside people, like Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, stuff like that. I'm going to give you tips for what to do at a used car dealer.